Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be shooting some abstract photography. If you go online and type in abstract photography, you get a whole load of images come up that can give you some sort of inspiration, some sort of idea. And some photographers don't even know what abstract photography is. They'll take a photograph and they'll sit there and go, is that abstract? Is that not abstract? I don't know. And I've got a picture here behind me that you can see on the screen that I took a couple of weeks ago on Agfa APX 400 film, and that's just some stairs at a skate park. I found these stairs, the sun was shining nice, I could see all tones, I could see lines, I could see angles. I got nice and close with a 50mm lens, took the photograph, and that's how the print came out. And to me, it's kind of abstract art. You know, you can imagine it being framed up on a wall and it wouldn't look out of place in anyone's office or one of these modern looking homes, you know, white walls drifting everywhere and all the mod cons. And it was pretty much unintentional. I wasn't going out to shoot abstract, I was just trying to shoot some streets. But when I come back with the negatives, I realised that I'd got onto something that maybe I might enjoy. Now I know we all get complacent with our own photography. Most of you know me, I shoot seascapes, portraiture, dead flowers and anything else that I fancy, but I don't really get my head into abstract photography. And what is abstract photography? We can go on Wikipedia and have a little look, type the word in, and it says abstract photography, sometimes called non-objective, experimental or conceptual photography, is a means of depicting a visual image that does not have an immediate association with the object. So in my mind, that sort of photography is great. You can just go off and shoot what you like. You can even kick the tripod, get a little bit of motion blur going on, or move the camera a little bit to get some blur, or even just find some interesting lighting on objects and angles coming in and out, and lines and parallels and stuff. Get it printed and call it abstract art. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. I'm going to get all my gear together, go down the local skate park and see what I can find. I'll be looking for parallels, I'll be looking for lines, I'll be trying to take my time over what I'm shooting, and I'm also going to try and move the camera so I can get a little bit of motion blur as well. I don't know if this would be called abstract street photography, would it? I don't know, but I'm going on the street anyway, so I can call it that. Call it what I like, it's my photography. And I'm going to be shooting my Pentax Spotmatic F camera with a normal 50mm lens, standard 50mm lens on there, and a roll of Ilford HP5. And I've also got a roll of Foma 400, which you can see has come out of this bulk cassette here, which I loaded myself using this bulk loader. Thanks a lot, Ian, for this, mate. For my metering, I'm going to be using my Sekonic meter because the light meter in here is shagged, it don't work. So I'm going to be using my Sekonic light meter. I'm also going to take the grey card out as well. So I'm going to do some incident readings, but I'm also going to do some spots on the grey card and see what we can get with that. So stick around and I'll show you what I'm up to. We'll get down the skate park. I don't think there's going to be anyone doing any skating down there, but because there hardly ever is. I don't think no one can skate on the island. I don't know. Let's go down and take some pics. So lo and behold, there's a couple of scooters going up and down and playing stunts on these ramps. Oh mate, when I was a kid I'd love to have had one of those scooters. Just about got by on a BMX. I want to try and keep a small aperture. I don't really want any shallow depth of field at all, so I want everything to be in focus. So F16, 250th of a second. The sun is breaking in and out, which is quite nice. It's going to give me some nice contrast. Bonzo, let's go. Perfect at the moment, the sun's come right out, which is going to give you some nice contrasts. The only thing that's doing my head in is the shadows. I've got to keep trying to avoid my own shadow. Mad. So those two kids playing on their scooters out on these ramps have just said to me, why don't you have a go, mate? It'll look good. You look good on the scooter. Imagine it. I'll come flying off. So I've got a major problem. The film has just snapped at the end of the roll. You know where you bulk load it in? I've wound it on too much, and then when I try to rewind it, it's just snapped. The film is stuck in the camera. I can't take no more pics. So HP5 is out of the question. Let's go back and develop this film, see what we get. Foma 400. It's not a bad grain at all, it's quite smooth actually. But the negatives came out okay. I just did that metering like I showed you when I was on the those skate ramps. Simple metering, just a bit of incident reading, and then I got my f16 2/50th of a second. Job done. But the negs have come out nice, so I've already chose a couple that I'm going to make a print of. So let's go through that now. So I'm just pouring my chemicals in the tray, ready for my darkroom session. So yeah, those negatives came out nice. I'm quite happy with them. And the hard part about that shoot was trying to keep anything else out of the background. I didn't want no, life or trees or anything like that. I needed to keep it real tight on the stuff that I was framing. I didn't get it right every time. Some of those scanned negs you saw that I cropped very slightly just to crop any of that sort of crap out. But and I'll do the same in the darkroom, if I want to make a print and there's a little tiny bit of a tree or something in the background that I couldn't quite get when I was taking the photograph, I'll just crop that out as well. I don't care. A bit like this fixer. Just got to be careful if you put your fixer on top of your trays like this that it doesn't go falling into your developer. That wouldn't be good fun. Just a space saver. And of course the other thing that failed me was the film. What I'd done, I'd bulk loaded it, bulk rode it, put the sellotape onto another canister inside that bulk loader, and then when I rewound it back in the camera, it pulled that sellotape off and it came out of the film, so it was stuck inside the camera. There's nothing else I could do apart from go home and develop what I had, and that was what was on that bulk roll of Foma Pan 400, just those negatives there. But that's good enough. I got what I wanted. I could have sat there and shot the HP5, but pretty much just getting the same sort of stuff. So this is the first negative I want to work with, which is already now in the carrier, and that was the one with the railings. I kind of liked it the way they just sort of went off 3 railings, 1, 2 and 3, and it kind of just dispersed in the background. I kind of like that composition, so that's the first one I'm going to make a print of. So I've just finished off my printing session in the darkroom, and I'm about to tidy my darkroom up before I go back indoors. Cracked open an Italian beer, so I'm going to enjoy that while I clean up my darkroom. But those prints have come out really nice. There was no messing about. Only the last one I did a little tiny bit of burning on, but other than that, there was all grade 2.5 filter. Pretty much all the way through, but the prints have come out really nice, and they were the 3 negatives that I chose to print. There are probably more in there that I could print and put in frames and make look good, but in this session I only printed 3, and this was the first one that I printed. This was the railings, this big one in the foreground, and it kind of slides off to these little square railings as we go along to the third one in the background here. So I quite like that composition that I got. It didn't take too long to find it, just looking up and seeing what I could grab through the viewfinder of the camera. And these are still drying at the moment. I ain't got a clue what this is. I know it's the ramp, but I don't know which part. I can't remember. But anyway, it's a part of the ramp. I just like it the way it's got bags of tone in there, and I purposely not overdeveloped it, but I purposely made this part very dark, very contrasty. I just didn't want any detail in that, so I can get detail around the rest of it, and I think it kind of sets it off nice. And then the last one again is another part of the ramp. I ain't got a clue what part it is, but it's a part of the ramp, trust me. Again, another black area there, which is the shadows. I've kept that as it was. I could have played around with filters, but I didn't want to. I wanted it looking contrasty, and that doesn't bother me at all. It is what it is. And the ramp there, I just did a little tiny bit of burning on the ramp just to pull that through. And that one's come out nice as well. Real gritty print. You can see all the indentations of that ramp as well. So overall, I quite enjoyed that shoot. Something different for me. I usually go out, as you know, shooting seascapes and landscapes or dead leaves, like I said at the start of the video. But I went out and challenged myself to try and do a little bit of abstracty stuff. And I went down that skate park, made a couple of mates, didn't end up going on their scooter, but that doesn't matter. I'll come back with some nice negatives and some nice photographs. And that Foma 400, I was pretty impressed. I've usually swerved them, the Foma films. I have used them in the past, but I was quite impressed with how smooth and the smooth grain that I got out of that film, and also the tonality as well. It kind of worked. But I think the sun helped me out a lot. When that sun came out, it gave me bags of contrast, and that's when I wanted to shoot, so I could get these real rich black and white tones. That's what I got in the print, so I was quite pleased. And you know, challenging yourself with this abstract stuff, I just went down a skate park, thought, right, what can I get? How can I get these photographs? How can I compose the photographs? How can I get the lines working in the viewfinder? So it gets you thinking a little bit more. So I really enjoyed it. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks very much for watching. Thanks for everyone that supports the channel, and I'll catch you next time.